All right, other agency business, we have none. Items from the city attorney?
Nothing. Thank you, Mr. Mayor.
Items from the city manager?
Yes, I have a few brief items. One, to let the council know that I know we had a discussion, we're hiring an attorney for the unpaid assessments on the Home Depot site. We still call it the Home Depot site. The good news is the assessments have been paid, and we haven't had to pay the attorney because they paid on their own. It works out well.
Okay.
So that's the good news. The other item I just wanted to give you sort of procedural, and this is very important. On next time we meet, we're actually going to meet at 6 o'clock. We're going to be doing a swearing-in ceremony for our council member-elect. And right after we swear him in, we're going to do a study session on capital improvement plan. It's important that we talk about that plan because it's part of our budget process, and I know you just got a binder about it. But we actually are going to have a study session on that prior to the meeting that starts at 7. But please wear nice clothes because right at 6 we're going to be doing a swearing-in ceremony, and we're going to take pictures by our nice logo here. So it's for our website. So make sure we look coordinated. Okay, we'll do a reminder call. So that's the next time we meet. That's on the 28th. And then finally, there was a question about the firehouse project, and this is something that Mark Hecky and myself have been kind of monitoring. Unfortunately, there is a problem with the contractor that was hired. And it's not really the contractor, it's the issue between the contractor and Dr. Wiley. And basically the work hasn't started because they were at odds regarding the terms in the contract. This is a situation, the city doesn't have any kind of role in picking the contractor. The way that the development agreement was written by the city and was approved, we just have a contract with Dr. Wiley. And she actually took title to the property, so we don't own the property anymore. It's not our property, but she is under obligation to begin construction, and she's behind on that, and they know that. I've had a conversation with them on that. And I told them they needed to continue on the project or I would be bringing it back to the council for an update. And so I had a conversation with them last week. I asked Mark to call them today. It is my understanding they've hired a bird consultant to do bird cleanup. There is some pigeons and assorted birds that are hanging out in the place. And so they have done that, and that had to be cleaned up before the new contractor, which they anticipate starting the new contractor next week, and that is a contractor out of Sacramento. However, before we actually can allow them to begin work, we have to have what's called a prevailing wage meeting with our staff. Because it's a redevelopment project and there's redevelopment dollars used, prevailing wage has to be used. So that meeting has not been held yet. So if I see another delay, I will let all the council know, but that's sort of the status of the project right now. So, okay. That concludes my presentation. Again, I want to welcome John to the organization. So.
Okay. With respect to your comments concerning the firehouse project, I know that we have been dealing with this issue for well over 5 years, going on 6, and I may be wrong in that. It may have been longer or shorter. However, that does not alleviate my concern about how long this project is taking. I understand that there is disagreements between the parties. However, this city has invested a significant amount of redevelopment agency money into this project. And I'm not sure what role, if any, the city can play in terms of trying to bring whatever the conflict is between the two parties together. We have delayed funding on other projects within the redevelopment agency because of the substantial amount of money that we have invested in this project. And I understand that financing was a difficult thing to overcome, and they did that. However, it always seems to be one more thing that needs to be resolved. I remember when we ratified the new contract and the new agreement. The project proponent says, we are ready to start construction within X amount of days. That was several months ago. And I am, quite truthful, getting very frustrated. That doesn't take away my support for the project, But my frustration is this continuous drawing out of negotiations and that sort of thing. And I understand that both parties have to come to a resolution and work out an agreement that is acceptable to both parties. But when this city has $1 million invested in a project that has been discussed for well over 5 years, my patience is running very short. And I'm not making any accusations. I want to make that perfectly clear. But I am getting frustrated, and I'm anxious to see some physical progress be made with whomever is the contractor. So, having said that, is there any other items further? Okay. There is no closed session. This meeting stands in adjournment until April 28th. I can't.